What's up, Mouseketeers, and welcome back to another video. Today's adventures lead to Disney's Pop Century Resort.
We're continuing our series. We're doing part 2 of the Sisters by Hourglass Lake. We wanted to show you the other half since we had just talked about Art of Animation in our last video. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. They're kind of like, they're right beside each other. They're kind of like twins, but with different themes. So we wanted to show you guys what Pop Century is all about, and it's also an amazing resort. So Pop Century also offers bus service, just like any other Disney resort. So most of the time the buses will only go to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and they want you in Disney Springs as well, along with whatever water parks open. You do have to ride the Skyliner if you wanted to go to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Let's go inside. Also, at the time of this video, Southwest and Disney have partnered to try a pilot program. I don't know if it's going to last or work, but they are, if you're flying Southwest, they can bring your luggage to the resort for you. Right as you come into the lobby from the transportation side of the lobby, there are going to be Chase ATMs and fuel rod stations. I believe there's a fuel rod station in every resort, but this is where it's located here at Pop Century. It's located inside of this, I think it's called a business center. So if you need to get on a computer with computer access, you can come in here, or if you need to print something. There's also some chairs if maybe you wanted to sit and have a phone call. All right, let's go see what they have in this gift shop. They're all very similar, and a lot of them have a lot of the same things, but we love looking at merchandise. So here at Pop Century, they have some of their own resort themed merchandise, like they have Pop Century ears. I think these are supposed to be like little records. They're very cute. They also have their own Spirit jersey. It's really nice tumbler. I like the pop art part of it. So we have a lot of the candies, your basic essentials, some jewelry. The way the gift shop is set up, it's very similar to the one over at Art of Animation. The layout seems to be very much the same, but I don't see the pin wall that they had, and maybe just a few things are different, but it's still a really nice gift shop, and it's super colorful in here. It's very loud today. I think they're doing some sort of construction. We'll see if we run into that, but we're still gonna have a good time. These are my favorite Crocs of all time. They're just like regular Crocs, but instead of plain holes, you have Mickey. It seems to be their mug section is quite a bit smaller. You know, that makes me sad. All right, this is quite cute. They have a small little section here for Mother's Day gifts. A little thing of chocolates, a little chocolate rose, or this really pretty pink Disney mug that says Mom on it. That's so sweet to think about. As John mentioned in the last video, every time we stay at a Disney resort, we like to get a pin from that resort. It's a fun way to remember your stay, I think. So this is my least favorite way to display pins on these little carousel things. I like when they're on a wall so that you can really see everything without having to spin it. And by the time you get through one side, you forget what you already saw. Then we have John begging for toys.
I need them to complete my collection.
I really think the Zurg is really cute. And I really like the aliens. So I know these have been around for a while. It's like a little kid's toy car. And it's Mickey and Minnie and the People Mover. And it's really funny because it reminds me of mine and John's first date. John, this was us on our first date, except a lot larger.
Yeah. It's hit me, but Disney makes some toys that, I'm not gonna lie, it makes an adult want to buy them just for decoration. Like they have monorails and stuff that you can display like in an office or at home. It's made for kids, but I kind of want them.
All right, so this resort is themed after different time periods, which I think is super fun because it's kind of like a time capsule. So each area of the resort is themed after a different year or a time period. So there's only things that belong to that time period in there. It's really cool, but let me show you some fun little artifacts in the lobby, and then we'll show you everything outside. So here along the lobby wall, you'll see up at the very top, it's different years, and it goes the whole way down the lobby, and right underneath those is something that was happened or made during that year. So 1994, we have this beautiful case, has different games, different artifacts, different pieces from the time. Dreamcast, I remember that. I remember Furby, Power Rangers. because I'm a 90s kid, I remember all of these things. And I just think it's so fun that we have like actual stuff to look back on our childhood. My first Sony. And as we all know, the 90s was an amazing time for Disney filmmaking. Some of the biggest hits were made and came out in the 90s, at least from my generation. We got Aladdin, oh my goodness, Toy Story, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Hercules. Oh, those were good times. All right, we're in 1988. That's really right before I was born. I don't like saying that. Anyways, I do remember those, I don't know if you can see them, those clear phones that you can see all the mechanisms inside. I don't know if you guys can see this giant camcorder. John just told me, could you imagine making YouTube videos with that thing? No, thank you. And you know what's really funny? Look at this whole case full of all these things, and it's so funny to me that our cell phones pretty much does the work of everything inside this case. All right, this is way before my time, more into my parents' teenage years. But I do remember having a lot of these things. A crimper, we used to crimp our hair. Those were good times. Probably why my hair is so damaged as an adult. So I'm not going to show you all the cases because that's a lot of years to go through. But if you want to ever stop by, come just take a look at them. They're really cool. Or if you're staying here, it gives you something to do whenever you're waiting to check in. If you're not checking in on your phone.
Hey, Donald. How are you?
He's good. How are you?
Always number one? Always. Having a good day?
He's giving you a high five, John.
High five, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good day.
See ya. So it was fun interaction with Donald today. I like that they have them walking around the resort. It makes it more magical for the kids and everything. Kind of like, I don't want to say it defeats the purpose of meeting them in the park, but you get to spend a one-on-one time with them more here, walking around the park.
So what John was just talking about, Donald, they have character experiences here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 11:20 a.m. to 12:20. And whenever we got here, Pluto was here, but there was way too big of a line. But John did get to meet Donald, which made his day.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, and before we head outside, we're gonna stop over here to the right at the Fast Forward arcade, not cafe, no, Brittany. And let's check it out, why not? So if I'm not mistaken, I believe all Disney resorts have an arcade. Some are bigger than others. The famous Disney photo booth. It's not really famous, it's just famous to John because he thought that was the coolest thing ever. This arcade's actually quite big.
I remember Guitar Hero. Such a fun game. I remember I always thought I was the best driver when I got in one of these games. I think this is how I learned how to drive. You got an air hockey table here. Brittany, I challenge you in an air hockey battle.
You'll win. I'm horrible at air hockey.
But I can't see the puck. So
Like I said, I'm pretty bad.
All you really gotta do is grab the puck and then just keep feeding it through.
Keep feeding it through? That would be you winning, not me winning.
That's how you win.
Good try, good try. So whenever I was younger, I wasn't a huge video game person. I did like playing like on the Sega and the, oh, really show my age here, Game Boy. Like I loved my Game Boy. I do play video games on my phone every now and again, but arcades never were really my thing. I love skee-ball, that was my jam, and I loved a good claw machine. So we decided to pop into the food court area to see what it was like in here. Very loud. It's not as big as the one over at Art of Animation, not as much seating in here, but let's just at least see what foods they have. So it doesn't seem like they have as many options over here, but because Pop Center and Art of Animation are connected, you can walk over the bridge and see if they have something different that you might want if you are staying here. So I would say most of the options are the same at both places. The only thing a little bit different are their dessert options, from what I noticed. All right, that oatmeal cookie sandwich looks divine, but I hear these peanut butter and jelly croissants are really, really good. I might have to talk John into getting one to try. All right, y'all, I talked him into it. All right, we don't have an actual description of it, but I'm gonna guess that it's filled with some sort of peanut butter and jelly mixture. And the outside's a croissant, so let me cut it open and try it. You don't seem to be too excited to try this.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not a fan of the jelly. I'm a fan of peanut butter, but jelly and me don't get along.
No. And I grew up with grape jelly with peanut butter, and this looks like it might be raspberry, so I don't know. All right, this is what it's looking like on the inside. I'm getting a little bit nervous. All right, I'm gonna let him try it first. Here you go. We might be regretting our decision. You pick a side and you just dig in, my guy.
This has kind of like a glaze outside.
Yeah, it's like a raspberry glazed, but it's more the filling on the inside. So just take your bite.
Here goes nothing, guys.
No. Here you go.
But it's not bad.
He's just
It's
very
just-
dramatic.
No, it's... I don't know what the texture about the jelly,
There's a lot of
Feels
jelly in
weird.
there.
but the mixture with the peanut butter and the raspberries is pretty decent. Just how the jelly feels inside my mouth. That's what I don't like about it.
All right. I don't like jelly donuts. And this just has like a lot of raspberry in there. Not for me, that's way too much. I'll squeeze all the filling out and eat the rest of the croissant. I wish it was more peanut butter, less filling. I don't know who said this was good, but they lied to us.
I think this is the first Disney sweet that me and Brittany don't like. Can you agree?
I agree, that was not my cup of tea.
Like, the only way to eat it was take out all the jelly. Now, if you're a fan of jelly, you will like it. The croissant wasn't bad. The little glaze that it had around it, that was acceptable. Just give me a croissant with peanut butter inside and I'm good.
All right, so we're finally outside. We are right in front of the pool. We just came out of the lobby area after we had our horrible croissant. I'm gonna show you guys the pool and everything right here in the central area. So right here beside the pool, we have Pedal Pool Bar. And then right in front of us, we have the actual pool. So this is the main pool. There are, I believe, 2 others. So this is just the one that's here in the central area. Here is where they will host all kinds of different games and fun activities they usually do with the kids. It's usually a really, really good time. So the swimming pool is actually shaped like a flower. I guess that's why we have Pedals Pool Bar, because we're actually in the 60s area right here in the center, and we have a lot of like hippie and 60s vibes over here. And also right here at Pedals Pool Bar, they have a Coke refill station. So if you buy one of the refillable mugs for your stay and the inside is closed, this one's open 24/7 to be able to refill your cup. So I know I already showed you guys the pool area, but we want to start in numerical order. So we are going to start here in the 50s section. The cool thing about each section is the stairwells are themed after something popular in that time period. The stairwell here in the 50s building are bowling pins. So the 50s section has 3 large statues. We have Tramp, we have Lady, and we have a giant jukebox, which I'm obsessed with the jukebox. But I love anytime that there's a very large statue and it just so happens to be a Disney character. Now the 50s section does have its own swimming pool. It is a bowling pin shaped swimming pool. They even have some bowling balls on a rack as decoration. Here in the center we have a doghouse. I'm gonna guess it's supposed to be Lady's doghouse. My guess is that that's just pool pump equipment inside of it, but it's a fun little piece. Now half of this building is currently in the middle of being refurbished, but I just wanted to show the outside of the building where there wasn't many people. On the outside, transistor radios, some records, and people dancing is what's fun on the outside of these buildings. Now, one of the things I really liked about this whole resort is the fun words that are at the top, because they must have been popular phrases or sayings during that time period. So sock hop, nice wheels, real hip, you're grounded. I know it's hard to see behind these trees. Poodle skirt, crazy man, dreamy, bebop, cool, the most. Back behind the 60s building, which is right over here, is where you're going to find Hourglass Lake, which is where the Skyliner is housed. Right on the other side of Hourglass Lake is the Art of Animation Resort, the sister or cousin, whatever you want to call it, resort to Pop Century. Now, the thing that I like the most about Pop Century is that it is a value resort, so it means it's the lowest price bracket, and you have the added amenity of having the Skyliner as an option, where the other value resorts, you only have buses. The Art of Animation, on the other hand, on that side, the only value priced rooms are going to be the Little Mermaid rooms. The rest are family suites, and they run usually about $500 or more per night. Those sleep 6 people. The ones over here at Pop Century are just regular rooms, and they only sleep 4 people. Here we have the bridge that connects Art of Animation to Pop Century, and in the middle of that bridge we have the Skyliner station. Now, if you are staying at Art of Animation or Pop Century, you can cross this bridge to visit each resort. They're also sisters, like I've mentioned in the last video, so you are able to use the amenities at either one if you're staying at either one. The wind is blowing right now and it feels amazing. We're entering the 60s area. This is the center. It's closest to the lobby. Whenever you're booking online, these would be your preferred rooms, that these are the closest to everything. Directly behind the 60s area is going to be the bridge to the Skyliner. So this is where you would want to stay if you don't want to explore the whole resort, or you don't want to walk far after your park day. Remember earlier when I mentioned that all the fun pool activities happen here? There's one going on right now. So they usually have an activities cast member that comes out and plays games and does trivia and all kinds of fun stuff at the pool. It really is a really fun time. And then over here on the back side of the pool, there's also a little kid's splash pad. Here in the 60s section, we have 2 large statues, one being a Play-Doh can. Look at these fun little extruder pieces that used to come with your Play-Doh sets. And on the other side, we have a Jungle Book. We have Baloo and Mowgli statue on that side. And on these buildings, we have people dancing and flowers and peace signs. Some of the words on these buildings are far out, twist, groovy, very 60s themed. The theme of the stairs on the 60s building are Duncan yo-yos. If you come out of the lobby and go towards your left, the section we're going to enter is going to be the 70s. Favorite thing about this resort is they have lots of interactive areas. Like right here, it's a cute little garden and you can play real Twister. Like, it actually works. A Twister in nature. Very fun. The rooms here at Pop Century are just regular standard rooms. They sleep 4 people. I think you can get either 2 queen beds and 1 king bed, the same as most of the like all-stars and the basic resorts. It's the same as all the value resorts because Pop is considered a value, but it is better because you have more transportation options. These hotels very much have motel feeling with the outdoor entrance to your rooms, but there's plenty to do here, plenty to see. Look, we got a mood ring. Over here at Pop Century, they have some of the fun statues at each building. We have a giant big wheel. I think John was actually just talking about big wheel yesterday. And we have giant foosball. It doesn't really work, it's just... So foosball must have been a really popular thing back in the 70s, I guess. Now, I do have to mention that the 70s section is the only section without its own pool, but you are right beside the 60s where the hippy dippy pool is. So that's up to you if that's important or not. 4-story tall Mickey telephone. One really cool thing that we have noticed since being here is there's lots of greenery so that there's more shading, especially for us who are just hanging out here all day, just exploring outdoors. It gets really hot and the shade so far has been a lifesaver. One of my favorite things is the stairs at the end of each building are themed after something from that decade. In the 70s building, we have 8 tracks. We've left the 70s, now we're entering the 80s. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head can't get any more fun than that. So we are in the 80s, and the fun thing that I personally loved was outside of, or on each building, it's like Pac-Man. So in the 80s section, we have this beautiful green area that has nice shade, which I think is wonderful. So our giant statues in this area are going to be a Sony Walkman, a laptop computer for that building, and for this building we have a giant statue of Roger Rabbit. Now the 80s section does have its own swimming pool. I believe it's the laptop pool, and then right outside the laptop pool, so this is the keyboard, which has that fun like spongy material you walk on, and then we have the computer screen, I guess is what you swim in. And if you can see back behind the pool, we have a floppy disk. I'm not sure what it is, it's just really fun. I like the fun words at the top of all these buildings that were obviously popular back in the 80s. Yuppies, for sure. Oh, keeping it real. I can't read. Hip hop, I believe that says. Whatever. Surf the net to the max. Radical. Totally awesome. So I noticed what the Pac-Man, and I didn't realize what these other things were, but it's people breakdancing. I was very confused. This little area that has the bathrooms and things in it, right outside of the swimming pool, the laptop swimming pool. Or is it the computer pool? I don't know. But it looks like the back of an old computer. Like, looks like the little outlet over there. And the little fan. And the little plugs. And then where'd I see it? There was like an, oh, up here. It's like an on and off switch. The detailing that Disney does is insane. And earlier as we were going through this section, I was telling you guys about the laptop. Well, this is actually the 90s section, and it's not really a section, it's just this one building, and it's covered with skates, CDs, people dancing. So some of those words I said about hip hop, whatever, surf the net, those are all 90s themed items. So this is actually the farthest building away from everything. It still didn't seem that far, but this building is the farthest, so it's up to you if that's your choice. But it does have its own pool over here in the 80s and 90s section, so at least you have that. I think I had a computer that looked just like this. What's funny, it has abcnews.com, which to me is hilarious. Oh, Disney's Animal Kingdom opens today as the headline for Orlando, April 22nd, 1998. So that is pretty fun, because I guess Animal Kingdom did open in the 90s, so that fits perfectly. Oh, I miss when computers were that simple. They're not so simple anymore. All right, and then every time, most of the time, I lie, whenever you see these bathroom areas by the pools, there's usually the laundry located inside, and that's the case for this one, and that was the case for the one over by the main pool, the Hippy Dippy pool. Most of the resorts do have laundry. You do have to pay for it, but it is an option. It's there if you need it. I'm currently taking a break, sitting in the shade on this fabulous bench behind the one pool, waiting for John because he's doing some B-roll and taking some photos of some of the objects around the resort. Here he is. He actually just came. And it is very refreshing to sit here in the shade and cool down, because like we've said before, it's already May and it's quite hot. It's tolerable. Like, it is tolerable heat, but you just need to take breaks, stay hydrated, and that's just what we're doing.
So as you were sending me to take that B-roll of that computer, I thought about it. This will be the perfect size computer for me for video editing.
You could actually be able to see that one. It's right behind us, so that's something he needs to be able to see.
Right?
No, you were just complaining because instead of a regular computer monitor, John has a 32-inch TV that's mounted to the wall, and then he puts his laptop into it. But he actually was editing a video the other day, and he said the only bad thing about that TV, where he can get close to it and see things, but you have to like move your head to look around.
Yeah, so I find myself like just going crazy with my head. I think that drives me more crazy.
And I think that would give me a headache.
Versus a smaller screen. My laptop is 14 inch, so I could just focus straight on it.
So you might have to strain your eyes a little bit more, but you're not moving your neck around and making yourself dizzy, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. Like,
I've noticed you don't. So you would get headaches more with the TV.
correct.
You could see better. You can find things easier, but you're giving yourself a headache doing that. So that's just our fun little rant for the day. And if you watch our other video, I got this fun little tech bag from Five Below for $5. I am probably going to put something Disney related on it because it's going to be mostly my Disney bag. But I don't know. Some days I don't mind carrying a purse or a book bag. And some days I don't want to carry nothing at all. But today my pants didn't have pockets. So I got this little bag to hold just my phone and my keys and my debit cards. And so far it's working perfectly. And it's not heavy and it's not giving me a headache. And some videos don't mind my obnoxious sunglasses. They're the only ones I had in my car. I look like I belong on It's Tough to Be a Bug. And we just have Camera Boy walking around.
You put me to work today, guys. She said you're in charge of all the B-roll and photos.
Yeah, he's in charge of the B-roll today.
If you like that B-roll, thank you. You had a good time, Brittany?
Yeah, I'm hot.
Yeah, it started off good, but then it started getting too hot. And yeah, we're exhausted. But thank you guys for joining us today. We had a great time walking around this resort. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. So we'll see you in the next adventure. Bye.
Bye.